everybody. Welcome to another edition of The Professor and the Pupil. My name is Scott Morgan. Please be joined by my special guest, Gavonne Bess. Gavonne, welcome to the big show.
Yes, sir, Scott. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
Well, we're going to be talking boxing tonight, and we're going to talk about your story. How did you get started in the sport?
I actually started boxing when I was 12 years old. I told my mom to take me to the boxing gym because honestly, I was coming across a lot of Floyd videos and EPs, the Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd EPs and things like that, and it kind of at 12 years old, I kind of gravitated towards it. So I'll keep watching those EPs over and over, and I kind of just took an interest into it. So I told my mom to take me to the boxing gym. Every mother isn't gonna want to take their kids to the boxing gym, so she didn't come around too soon, but I finally got her too, and she took me to the boxing gym near me, and from there I was just sold on it, and from there I got in trouble in school, and then I wasn't able to box at 12. I had to kind of restart a bit. I took like 2 to 3 sessions, and then from there I had to restart again a year later. So when I was out of trouble in school I got in trouble in school. So once I that got settled, I was able to get back boxing. So really started at 13, where it was like full on.
So Manny Pacquiao, and then what? Floyd Mayweather. That's a guy that also perked your interest.
Yeah, definitely just Floyd Mayweather. Watching him versus Manny Pacquiao, seeing everybody, gather around and want to watch them. No matter where you go, everybody was talking about Floyd and Manny Pacquiao at the time. And me being 12 years old, I see everyone into boxing. It was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. I want them to be talking about me this way.
So, what motivated you to get into boxing to begin with? You all know it's a dangerous sport, and we know that there's a lot of different head trauma that can be resulted in there. I know amateurs who use headgear, but then when you get to the pro level, it's it's glove against head.
Yeah.
So, but what motivated you to get into it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a dangerous sport. Every sport has its own danger in it, but boxing in itself, I'm taught hit and don't get hit, so I'm pretty confident that I'll have a great professional career with all my, everything intact. So I'm looking forward to my career. But honestly, everything I can't explain it. Once I got into the boxing gym, I smelled just the boxing gym in general, the bags, the watching everyone spar. It was just like this is what I was meant to do. So from there, I was hooked on it.
Well, nothing like a smelly gym. Did you ever get inspired by any of the Rocky films?
No, I never really took too much interest in the Rocky films, to be honest with you. Like, it's a cool movie, but I never really even watched all of the ones. I think I watched like two of them.
Okay, well, that's fair enough. I
Yeah,
mean, not everybody gets after all, it is fiction, anyways. But when you
yeah.
think about boxing, you think about the smell of the gym, you think about the bags and all that. So let's talk a little bit about your idols in the sport. I'm sure you had to have a few idols going growing up.
Um, I wouldn't say idols, but definitely a few different great fighters that I like to take certain things from. I like first off, I'll say Floyd Mayweather for sure. I like Roberto Duran, Pernell Whitaker, and Terrence Crawford. I say those are my top guys, and Shakur Stevenson. I give it to those top guys. I take bits and pieces from each individual, each athlete, and just put it into my game and see what I could come up with. And that's been my style since then. Just kind of taking little pieces from the greats and not becoming them specifically. Just being authentically myself and just taking bits and pieces from them.
All right, so name those again. I got Roberto Duran, Pernell Whitaker, and who are the other ones you mentioned very slowly?
I like Pernell Whitaker, David Benavidez. I like him too. Um, Floyd Mayweather, definitely Terrence Crawford as well.
Oh, that sounds
And
good.
yes, sir.
Yeah, Roberto Duran. I mean, I had the opportunity many years ago to interview Sugar Ray Leonard. And what are your thoughts about Sugar Ray Leonard? Did you ever follow his career much?
Sugar Ray's a great fighter. I'd follow him a little bit, but not. I like what I like. So like things that I could steal from certain fighters who fight somewhat in a sense to me similar to me, or
Right.
I fight similar to them. I kind of pick more so from them. But he's definitely a great fighter. A lot of great accolades in the sports as well.
You ever heard of Muhammad Ali?
Yeah, of course, of course. How could I not? Muhammad Ali was a great fighter, one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. You know, arguably the best heavyweight of all time.
I had an opportunity many years ago, Giovanni, to interview Muhammad Ali and got some a good photo with him. That people, if they look at my Instagram account, they'll be able to find that photo and many others. Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard were two of my favorite ones to talk to for sure. So let's talk about your first year as a pro six fighter or as a pro G fighter.
I'm a currently I'm a professional fighter. I have six. I'm 6-0 as a pro, one knockout. I had
Okay,
six fights. I had six fights in this year alone. So, just making my debut back in October. I'll make my debut October 11th, 2024 at the Hard Rock Casino.
right.
And from there, it's been, nonstop activity. We all know that in boxing, as a young and up and coming prospect, you want to make a name for yourself. You got to get out there and get it. So I've been hungry and fighting everyone they put in front of me.
Does anything ever make you nervous, knowing that if you stay in the ring long enough, there's always that fear of Parkinson's disease at all, or does that really matter to you at this particular point about the long-term repercussions?
No, because I'm not in the sport to take punishment. I feel like if you're taking punishment throughout your career and things like that, then you got something to worry about. But like I said, hit and don't get hit. Uh, that's what I'm a master at.
I like that approach. I really do. You walk into this whole thing as very fearless, don't you? Like, you know what? Well, I'm not worried about Parkinson's disease or let alone a potential CTE situation, but because of the way you see. So do you see things? So do you find yourself as a knockout puncher or more of a finesse?
Both. I could do both to a T. I feel like I'm one of those fighters who kind of figure out their opponents, break them down, and then get them out of there. If the opportunity presents itself, I'm definitely gonna knock you out. But if it doesn't, then I'm just gonna win. Regardless, I'm gonna find a way to win. But I'm not scared of anything or worried about anything happening because I know my preparation.
So you're telling me, if I understand you correctly, that you're a very strategic fighter.
Absolutely, I adjust to anything and anyone in front of me, and I get the job done.
So then, do you feel that boxing is like a chess game?
And boxing absolutely is a chess game. It's a thinking man's sport. Um, and that's just it. That's what I master. I'm a quick thinker, a great thinker, and whatever's in front of me, I get the job done. That's it.
See, I already like you already. The guy that thinks of it as a chess game. Life's a chess game, anyways. If people go out there and look at my book, listen from the microphone, I treat it like a chess game too. That's the only way that you can manage in this day and age. And the fact of the matter is, you do have to be a thinker because the one thing about boxing is they call it the sweet science. It is a
Sure.
sweet science. What are your thoughts when somebody talks about the word sweet science? What enters your mind?
Um, I think boxing is ruthless science. Honestly, like I don't think anything's sweet about boxing at all. Because one wrong move and it's over with. That could be the end of the night right there. So I never really agree with the sweet science, but I get the message. I say it's more so a ruthless science. So
Okay, we're going to go to a station break real quickly. A few more questions. Not every interview I have to be as a marathon, but the bottom line is I ended up coming up in contact with Gavonne Bess from my mutual friend Lisa Mead Guerrero, who will make her way onto the platform at some point or another. So Lisa, if you're out there watching the show, Gavonne Bess is on a big show with the Motor City Madmouth. A few more things I want to get to. We're going to talk about his amateur career, leveling up on fight night. And then we also have one other thing I want to get to about his plan for his future in boxing. Go ahead, Candy.
South Florida Tribune Publishing Company published a book, Lessons from the Microphone, Tuning into the Enduring Wisdom of Visionary Leaders. It is written by our host, Scott, the Motor City Madmouth Morganroth. Talks about his 40 plus years in the media business and how it has evolved and changed. Lots of stories, lots of pictures. Go check it out. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, Google, and Apple Books. There's also a link on our website, www.southfloridatribune.com, where there is a plethora of great content. So go check it out. If you like to listen to podcasts, you can find us wherever you get your podcasts. If you want to advertise or sponsor a show, call Scott 954-304-4941. And if you want to be a guest or have topic ideas, you can always email us at southfloridatribune@gmail.com. Last but not least, if you see that little red subscribe button in that lower right-hand corner, click it, like us, share us, and then turn on your notifications so you're notified anytime we go live so you don't miss any of our great programming. Back to you, Scott.
All right, thank you very much, Candy. You want to get a few more things there. All right, so Giovanni, we talked about the fact that you're an amateur, you have 40 fights under your belt. A few of the things that you've accomplished are you beat the number 4 ranked fighter in amateurs and the number 5 fighter in the nationals. Explain to me what those wins are all about.
Yeah. So for me, I had a pretty solid amateur career. I won the Golden Glove in Florida State Golden Glove 2021 champion, and I went out to the nationals out in Kansas, I believe it was, or yeah, Wichita, Kansas. I went out there and I beat the number 5 ranked kid in my division. You know, at the time when I was about 16 years old, they were like, 17 years old. They're making it seem, going into that fight that was, one for me to worry about. That this is the fighter that you know could possibly beat me and get me out of the tournament. So going into that fight, I was very focused and I was just, zoned in on it. And I remember going to the fight and I was just thinking about my preparation leading up to the fight. I knew that he was going to beat me. So when I got in there, I beat him unanimous decision and I came back home about 2, 3 weeks later on. I fought the number 4 ranked kid, and it was crazy because it wasn't meant for me to fight the number 4 ranked kid. It just so happened to be that he was coming to Florida. He wanted to fight as well, and they lined up the fight. And everyone from my city in Florida were just rooting for him to come from Toledo, Ohio, and beat me. But I beat him, and yeah, that was just one of the sweet moments in the amateurs.
You were actually cutting out a little bit, so why don't you try to repeat what you said initially so we can repick that up and then I can proceed from there. So
Got you.
start
Okay.
from yeah, and right where you're at, stay with that microphone angle. That's okay. Now we talked about obviously you beating the number 4 ranked fighter, and of course the number 5 in nationals. Let's go over that again, please.
Yeah, so going out to the nationals, I fought in Wichita, Kansas, and I beat the number 5 ranked kid in Wichita. Everyone was making it seem like, at that time that he was gonna beat me. So I stayed focused throughout throughout that whole tournament, and I beat him, and then got back home and then faced the number 4 ranked kid. He actually came down from Ohio, and I beat him. But my city was, a lot of people in my city were saying that, this is a tough fight and things like that. But we got the job done. So from there, it's just, we silence people. But I'm pretty sure that's going to be the majority of my career, proving people wrong.
I love that attitude. I remember many years ago when people doubted me, proving people wrong was something good, and that's incredible motivation. I'm impressed with what I've seen so far with you. All right, you were the 2021 Golden Glove champion. Go into more detail there about how you accomplished that.
Um, I was 15 years old at the time, so yeah, I was 16 actually at the time. Going into that tournament, it took a lot of preparation. My coach, he didn't he started training me for the Golden Gloves for 6 months. To be prepared for the Golden Gloves, like nonstop. It was tough training camp for that. And leading up to the Golden Gloves, I fought one time because my bracket fell out, meaning that 2 fighters were supposed to fight in the bracket fell out. So it was just one fight, and it was against a tough kid. He came to fight. And the crazy thing about that amateur fight is that they switched it to 2 minute rounds because something had gone on behind the scenes. They switched it to 2 minute rounds when we were supposed to fight 3 minutes. So we were just pretty much just banging it out. And I got the job done, and I was victorious, and I won the 2021 Golden Glove champion.
Great stuff. All right, so let's talk about Level Up Fight Night 2. That'll occur on Saturday, 11/22 on 25 in Miami. Let's talk about your preparation for this event.
Yeah, I'm actually preparing right now. I've been in camp for about 2 months now, so I've been training my tail off, just working extremely hard. Um, just waking up every morning, Just getting on the jug every morning and just putting in the work, and day in and day out, just working hard, keeping my mind focused is the main important thing for me. I feel like the mental preparation for me is the most important part of the game. Like it's not just the
Right.
training part. Anybody can get out there and run 6, 7 miles and hit the boxing gym and things like that. But it's the mental preparation for me. So I've just been prepared mentally and training extremely hard. And yeah, fight night, November 22nd down in Miami. I'm looking forward to putting on the show for my city, and I hope they come out and support me.
Sounds great. Okay, last thing here. Let's talk about your plans for the future, raising money to keep this dream going.
Um, my plans for the future is simple. I just want to keep fighting as consistently as possible, keep working hard, and just get in front of the right promoter and all of those things. I feel like that will happen for me one day. I just gotta, keep doing what I'm doing, and my opportunity will present itself. I just gotta keep getting in the right spaces, fighting the right dudes, and just continue to line myself up for the opportunity. I know God got the rest.
Well, one of the things we're hoping to do here in the professor and the pupil is maybe I'll invite you on as occasional boxing commentator a little bit, blend in. And one of the things that we like to do is talk about combat sports. And what's your
Absolutely.
knowledge about combat sports?
Everything. I'm into really just boxing, to be honest. Not anything like UFC or anything like that.
Right.
Just boxing really. So I mean, if we talk boxing knowledge, that's what I got.
All right. So, why do you think that boxing has gone ahead and declined in popularity? Do you feel that there just aren't enough fights going on at the higher levels to cultivate the interest?
Yeah, I actually think that that's something I agree with. I feel like over the years and things like that, it's just the top fighters aren't fighting as consistently as they used to. Like
Right.
most of them getting in the ring like one time and that's it for the whole entire year. So it's
Right.
easy for us to, for it to decline over time and things like that. But I mean, I think that those top fighters just got in the ring more, then the popularity would stay right there because people want to see the top fighters face the best. So, and we saw that with Canelo versus Terrence Crawford. Actually, like they sold millions of pay per view buys, and that was probably one of the biggest events for boxing in a very long time. So, I feel like it's just more so the consistency of these fighters fighting.
So, tell me, how old are you again?
I'm 21 years old.
21 years old. Let
Yes,
me tell you, everybody, this guy's got the mentality of an old school guy. Because I think one of the biggest things that I remember was when boxing, you had lots of big events going on in the year, you kept it in there. I can remember, I don't know whether you see much of this on TV or not, but when you think of boxing through the years, I'm sure you probably think about HBO and all those channels. Don't do you ever watch any of those old HBO fights?
yeah, I watched all the HBO episodes. They used to have like a little cassette tape that you could put in, and watch like those old things. I'm actually big on cassette tapes. So I go buy some from the stores and find old boxing films to watch from back in the day and things. I remember watching Miguel Cotto, Felix Trinidad, all those great champions on the little cassette tapes. I plugged them in and turn it on and watch it. It's nothing like an old school fight and seeing black and white fights. I like things like that.
Well, amazingly how you bring that up. Okay, so you look at some of those old school fights. Do you ever go out there and take anything off of those to try to use it as film study to try to help your career out?
Absolutely, absolutely. Film study in general has just been a major part of my preparation. Um, Leading up to a fight right now, like right now I'm in camp. Leading up to a fight, I'm watching film in between my training sessions. Say I got 3 days, morning, for example, take you through my day a little bit. From the morning, I'll probably go for a little run, then hit the boxing gym. And in that in between time from the boxing gym to my strength training session, I'm watching film for 2 to 3 hours. It's a very important part, that gets neglected by a lot of athletes. But film is important for any sport. You gotta watch film. You gotta study what you're doing.
I don't know if you've ever heard of the name Angelo Dundee. You ever hear of Angelo Dundee?
Yes, sir.
He was a good friend of mine back in the days. I'll never forget the time when Muhammad Ali came to Allen Park in North Miami. Angelo Dundee made sure I got to Muhammad and Sugar Ray Leonard, and it was unbelievable. Not too bad. You're only 21. I can only imagine
Yeah.
if Angelo would have worked with you.
Yes,
Angelo
sir.
Dundee was one of the closest people I've ever had. I know there. Who's your current trainer right now?
My coach is the same coach I've been with since I was 15. His name is Dustin Arnold.
What's his name?
Dustin Arnold.
Dustin Arnold. Well,
Yes, sir.
hopefully Dustin will go out there and get you ready for this. And when you go out there and get more things accomplished, I look forward to bringing you on more shows here in the South Florida Tribune Media Network. Just so everybody know that coming up after Professor and the People, we're going to have 108 Stitches Baseball Talk. We're going to be talking about the World Series. Have a good crew lined up after this show's over. Gavonne Bess, everybody. He's going to be boxing at 11 on November 22nd, 25. Want to get him in ahead of that fight so we can get his name out there and promote it as well. Any other thing that you want to add as we close out the show?
Um, just follow my journey. Follow my journey. I feel like as long as you get on the train now, you're definitely gonna be in for a great ride. If you support me now and you continue to follow me just to see where my career takes me, and watch my growth from 21 to at the pinnacle of boxing, which I definitely will get there. It's just better to know now, to hop on board now. The support along the journey is the biggest part. So definitely check me out on November 22nd. In Miami, down in Miami at the Level Up show. Check me out. I'll be putting on a dominant performance, and it's just gonna be another stepping stone. So just continue to support me. I fight for you guys.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to monitor the career of Gavonne Bess here on the South Florida Tribune Media Network. So he'll be on. He won't be a stranger. I plan to bring him on future Monday nights. I want to get him on here right now so we can go out there and everybody get familiar with Gavonne Bess. He's a hometown kid here in South Florida, and I'm so glad he's on the Professor and the Pupil tonight. Candy, one more station break, and then we'll get this bad boy rolling. Go ahead, Can.
South Florida Tribune Publishing Company published a book, Lessons to the Microphone, Tuning into the Enduring Wisdom of Visionary Leaders. It is written by your host, Scott, the Motor City Madmouth Morganroth, talks about his 40-plus years in the media and how it has evolved and changed. There's even a picture of a young Scott with a young Muhammad Ali in the book, so go get the book. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, Google, and Apple Books. There's also a link on our website, www.southfloridatribune.com, where there is a plethora of great content, so go check it out. If you like to listen to podcasts, you can find us wherever you get your podcasts. If you want to advertise or sponsor a show, you can call Scott 954-304-4941. And if you want to be a guest or have topic ideas, you can always email us at southfloridatribune@gmail.com. And last but not least, if you see that red subscribe button in that lower right-hand corner, click it, like it, share us, and then turn on your notifications so you're notified anytime we go live. That's all we wrote. Back to you, Scott.
All right. Well, once again, we want to thank Gavonne Bess for being on Professor and the People tonight. Gavonne, a pleasure to get to know you. I've enjoyed our conversation, but we are far from finished here as well. So we'll be in touch really soon. Please share this episode to everybody. Let them know you made it here on the national scene here as well. So this broadcast will be is being shared worldwide, both audio through iHeart, Amazon, and of course on YouTube, X,
Absolutely.
Facebook, and our YouTube. So we're going to make sure we get your name out there, but we are far from done. So coming up, any last thing you want to say before we roll?
Yes, sir. Just thank you, Scott, for having me. And I appreciate you guys supporting me, and I'm gonna just continue doing what I do. Thank you, guys.
Oh, no problem. After we get done here, so let Lisa know you made it here. I'll probably see her on Thursday, but let her know that I talked her ear off and you did a pretty good job in your first act here on the network. So, meanwhile, Lisa
Absolutely.
Mead Romero, a good friend of mine, she'll be coming on a future edition, hopefully of No Limits with Candy Ebling. And we're looking to bring her on at some point. But when she gave me Gavonne Bess, I had to check it out. Then when Gavonne and I spoke that this was a natural opportunity to put him on a Monday night, and I'm very delighted with what we've seen so far. So, on behalf of Gavonne Bess, my name is Scott Morganroth, Motor City Madmouth. Thank you for joining us on this edition of The Professor and the Pupil. We'll have another episode of The Professor and the Pupil really soon. But meanwhile, 108 Stitches Baseball Talk is coming up next, and we will be talking about the World Series. Good night, Gavonne, and we'll talk to you soon, my friend. God bless and good luck on the 22nd. Thank you.
Yes, sir.